Hi folks, this is Tim, aka Turbo BB. With today's video, I'll be covering ThruNite's latest release, the TN11S. This light presumably replaces the TN11 in the lineup, although I would hesitate to say completely replaced because they really are two different lights. So with that said, I already removed the light from the box just to cover really quickly. The ANSI NEMA FL1 standards produces a max output of 830 lumens. 130 hours of max runtime, 355 meter max beam distance, 28.9K candela peak beam intensity, 1.2 meters of impact resistance, and then likewise for the waterproof and submerged water resistance. So pretty standard cardboard box along with the standard inner plastic shell, the instruction manual, an Anti-Rattle battery tube for in case you want to use two CR123s or 16340s. And what else is here? Okay, we have a nice Lanyard here, two spare O-rings and a glow-in-the-dark ring tail cap cover. Nice decent holster here. And let's see what is this in here. Oh, a clip. Okay, and two extension tubes. So with the use of one extension tube, you could actually utilize two 18500 size batteries, and with both extension tubes installed, you could then utilize two 18650 batteries. Alright, so that's it. Put the stuff on the side here, and get to the light itself now. So the immediate thing that is different that I notice is obviously this side switch here, right? So the side switch actually allows you to change the modes as well as access strobe instantly with the light off. This is, I suppose, the master on-off switch that only turns the light on and off. And again, this is used for both instant access to strobe with the light off and as well as to change the modes with the light on. Now, style-wise, it looks like the head seems very similar to the Scorpion, although I don't really have one, but I do have the original TN11, which I could pull into the picture here for comparison purposes. So as you can see, the TN11 and TN10 as well went with this design theme of flutings that were cut into the head, the body, and the tail of the light. Those are all gone now. The head is left plain. You still have the same, what looks to be an anti-roll ring here, but it doesn't really do that because, you know, the diameter of the light is actually a little larger, so it doesn't really serve as that. If anything, the tactical ring would serve a better purpose of that. A few heat sinking fins here, and as you can see, there's now texturing on both the battery tube as well as the tail switch. Right? Size-wise, they're actually fairly close, if not nearly identical. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to wait for the autofocus to catch up a little bit here. Okay. Alright, and likewise in the diameter, they both feature stainless steel crenulated bezel along with these nice smooth reflectors here. Alright, so coming down to the tail cap, gone are these tail cap guards. So the TN11S is not tail standable since this rubber switch sticks out. However, I'll get into something that potentially one can utilize to tail stand the light if absolutely necessary. Alright, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and remove the tail cap. Pretty standard, you know. You got a spring here, and as well as, I guess, these two grooves, which you could remove the tail cap to replace that tail cap cover with the glow-in-the-dark one if one so chose. And then peering down into the tube, and get some lighting here. There's a spring at the head end, and this anti-roll ring, as with the TN11 TN10, can actually be removed. So let me go ahead and remove that O-ring and get this removed off. Pop that here for a second, and let me replace the O-ring. Okay, now obviously that was intentional because I'll show you what I mean about the tail standing capability in a second. Now I purposely chose these two batteries. Okay, this is a AWIMR 18650 because it's the shortest and narrowest out of all my batteries, so it accommodates it nicely with room to spare. Alright, And this is an extra 18700 size battery, longest and widest, and as you can see, no problems, it can accommodate it easily. So with that said, I'm actually going to take this out for a second, put back in the AWIMR, because I do want to demonstrate, while playing around with it earlier, I am able to induce a certain amount of battery rattle. Okay, I know, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I do know that this does bother quite a few folks, so something to keep in mind. However, though, I feel like with the advancement in the battery of the 18650, this sort of like a necessary evil in a way, because you need to be able to accommodate the girth and the length of these larger size batteries, even though, so they're no longer truly 18650 anymore. As a matter of fact, X-Star has purposely labeled them 18700s, but even then they're still a little bigger than 18 millimeters in diameter. So with that said, just something to keep in mind. Alright, so with that, we'll dive into first the tail standing capability. If one absolutely necessarily needed it, you could probably plop it onto the anti-roll ring and tail stand it that way in a pinch, but obviously that's not very stable. So, but again, if you absolutely needed it in a pinch, that's an option for you to keep in mind. Alright, now diving into the UI of the light, again, with the light off, this switch only accesses strobe instantly. Okay, so one depress and you will see it's a variable rate strobe, but again, it gives you nice instant access to it. Press again to shut it off. Now, continuing depressing it will actually not change the modes or anything like that. Okay, so as you can see, there is momentary possibility, or if you depress the switch for longer than 2 seconds, I believe. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me see exactly how many seconds, because I didn't keep track before. Okay, so that was like what, 4 or 5 seconds? It will stay on in strobe mode. And another click to instantly shut it off. Now the tail cap switch is the master on off, and again, that's all it does. It does not actually change the modes. So as mentioned, the mode switching is controlled completely through the side switch here. Press again for medium, high, and then strobe. Always in that order, cycling through. Low, medium, high, strobe. Okay, time to see if it actually has memory. Okay. Let's go ahead and pump it into strobe. Shut off the light. Turn it back on. Okay, it defaulted back to high actually. Interesting. Alright, I'll dive into the UI further later, but for now, again, I just wanted to give you a high-level overview of the TN11S in general. So again, just wanted to get this out there for you guys, latest information, and I will be fleshing out the review shortly. Alright, cheers, thank you very much for watching.